a few weeks ago, we were having a discussion about the pleasures of living a meaningful life. And a friend brought up a really good point. She asked that sometimes when we introduce more meaning into our life, it doesn't necessarily feel very pleasurable. And it was such a good question because I think all of us can relate to it. That sometimes when we're reaching for a new goal or we bring an extra element of meaning into our life, it doesn't just feel, wow, that's great. What's actually going on here? So Rabbi Desta talks about this, and he gives us a profound insight into it that can give you a powerful mindset change. Each of us within us have two parts of us. We have the Yetzer Tov, the part of us, our soul that wants to be great and to accomplish and to be the very best person and to connect to God and to connect to other people and to make a difference in the world. And then we have the Yetzer Hara, the other part of us, the part that just wants to be comfortable. Don't bother me. And these two parts of us are constantly in conflict. And Rav Desta says sometimes what happens is that when the part of us, that soul, that Yetzer Tov, that wants to grow and accomplish, it has the goals and it has the meaning and it wants to infuse it into our life, sometimes it loses to the Yetzer Hara, the part of us that says, no, I'm not going to do this right now. I'm comfortable. Leave me alone. I'm enjoying sitting on the couch. I don't want to be bothered right now and get up and be patient with my kids or get up and do a kindness for someone else. And sometimes that part wins. Now, when that part of us wins, we feel bad, and that feeling of feeling bad is coming from the Yetzer Tov, from our conscious, right? It's that guilty conscious that knows that we could have done better. And we experience that, and we experience that as a not good feeling. But the reality is that feeling is actually a good feeling. Why? Because that feeling tells us, that's our conscious, that is the one that's going to help us strive to do better and to be great. It's similar to, for example, if you go to an exercise class, right? And if you go to an exercise class and it's easy, you come out, you feel like, okay, you feel like that was okay. But when you go to an exercise class and it pushes you and it's uncomfortable, and you come out and you feel like, wow, that was great. That's our conscious. But Rabbi Desta says that the challenge, though, is that it's not comfortable to live with our conscience. So we have two options when our conscience kicks in and says, hey, come on, you could do better than that. We can either say, you know what, you're right. Let me think about what the next step I can take to becoming better is. Or we can trick our conscience and say things like, that's because it's not feasible. That's because it's too hard. Reasons, excuses that we give to our conscience all the time. But the challenge with that is that when we give these excuses to our consciousness and to our conscious, we trick ourselves into quietening our conscious down, and we may feel more at peace, but that's not actually a peace that we want, because long term, the discomfort is what's going to make us into the great people that we can become. The discomfort is what we're going to look back at and realize that is who made me what I was, right? When I got annoyed with my kids and then afterwards I felt bad, and I didn't just say, well, you know what, they pushed my buttons. Instead I said, let me learn how to handle my child better. There's two ways of dealing with our conscious when it kicks in. The easy way is to give it excuses and to say it's not feasible, it's too hard, it's not practical. The hard way, but the only way to really deal with it is to look at it and say, what is it really telling me? And what is the next step that I can take to become a better person because of what my conscious is telling me. And this is such a powerful mindset change that the next time we feel bad, we feel our conscious kick in, instead of thinking to ourselves, oh my goodness, this is so hard, we should remember this is a healthy feeling. It means that we are people that are striving to be better. We are people that are really living life and trying to get the best out of it. And we can stop and listen to that voice of conscious and think to ourselves, what can I learn from it? What is the next step? Even if it's a small step. Oftentimes, especially if it's a small step, that I can learn from what my conscious is telling me now. Wishing you a good Shabbos.